You wake up, you open your eyes, and suddenly you are. Not just the body, not just a collection of cells, neurons, and chemical reactions, but something more. A self, a witness, an experiencer. But here's the problem. No one actually knows what you are. Scientists can map your brain, track your thoughts, even predict your emotions, but they cannot explain why it feels like something to be you. What exactly is consciousness? Are you just a biological machine, an illusion created by firing neurons, or are you something beyond the physical world, something science cannot yet define? Today, we dive into one of the greatest mysteries of all time, the nature of consciousness. Let's start with the scientific perspective. Many neuroscientists believe that consciousness is nothing more than an emergent property of the brain, a byproduct of neurons firing, signals exchanging, and chemicals interacting. The famous neural correlates of consciousness hypothesis suggests that every thought, emotion, and sense of self can be traced back to specific brain activity. You are just the sum of your neural pathways. But there's a catch. While we can see the brain reacting to thoughts, we have no idea how those thoughts become conscious experiences. This is what philosopher David Commerce calls the hard problem of consciousness. It's one thing to know what the brain does. It's another thing entirely to explain what anything feels like something at all. Some scientists argue that the self, the you inside your head, is just an illusion, a hallucination created by the brain to make sense of billions of electrical impulses, which means you don't exist, not in the way you think. But if that's true, why does it feel so real? If consciousness is not produced by the brain, but instead something the brain receives. Imagine a radio. The music doesn't come from the radio, it comes from elsewhere, and the radio simply picks up the signal. What if your brain is just a receiver tuning in to an external field of consciousness? This idea is known as panpsychism, the theory that consciousness is a fundamental part of the universe itself, like space, time, or gravity. According to this view, everything, atoms, particles, even the universe itself, has some level of awareness. Consciousness isn't generated by the brain, it's simply channeled through it. This might sound crazy, but some physicists are actually taking it seriously. Theoretical models like integrated information theory suggest that consciousness isn't something the brain creates, it's something the entire universe is made of. But if that's true, what happens when we die? There's a strange link between consciousness and quantum mechanics. In quantum experiments, particles behave differently when they are observed. It's as if the act of conscious observation changes reality itself. Some physicists like Roger Penrose believe that consciousness isn't just a brain function, it's a quantum process. That deep inside your neurons, tiny quantum events are shaping your perception of reality, which means your mind might not be bound by the laws of classical physics. It might exist beyond space and time. And if that's true, then maybe consciousness doesn't end at death. Maybe it simply moves on like a wave, collapsing and reforming elsewhere. So what are you? A biological machine hallucinating a self that doesn't exist? A quantum phenomenon entangled with the fabric of the universe? Or a flicker of energy passing through dimensions never truly ceasing? Or just a line of code in some vast cosmic program? The truth is, no one knows. But if you're thinking about this right now, maybe that's the answer in itself.